Hello, beautiful lights. I am your host, Kimberly Barrett. Welcome to the Sharing Love and Light Show, Vibration and Consciousness on the Planet. I am a psychic medium, quantum energy healer, and intuitive coach here to help you experience light and love. On this show, I will help you tap into your personal power and shift your energy so you can step into your life's purpose and manifest your dreams. I believe that love is not a verb, it is a state of being. Stay with me for the next hour and unlock the quantum energy gifts that are already in you. You're listening to the Sharing Love and Light Show starting now. Hello, beautiful lights. Welcome to Transformation Talk Radio. You're listening to the Sharing Love and Light Show live with me, Kimberly Barrett. Tonight, I am so blessed to have a special guest with me who's going to be talking to us about awakening through pain. I met her about 5 years ago in Arizona, and she is one of the beautiful healer mentors, vessels who helped me transcend the shadows of my life at the time to awaken and heal even more into the light. She is a conduit for divine love, spiritual mentor, and intuitive. She guides people to heal themselves using quantum tools, sound healing, and voice. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on Helena Prana. Hi, Prana.
They're beautiful. Kimberly, namaste. Namaste, everyone who's going to watch us.
Yeah, so some people are watching and some people are listening to the live show right now, just to let you know. I am just so super excited to have you on here. I was thinking back to when I first met you, and I'm going to tell my listeners, I could not stay out of my head. I was so over-attached to my thoughts. I had a lot of trauma that was coming up at the time that I needed healing. And Helena was, this beautiful prana was the conduit and the vessel that really helped me at that time. I went to her sound healing bowl sessions that she had every Tuesday evening in Arizona. And she also did some individual treatments with me. And Prana, I have to tell you, the thing that stands out the most is when you would have me just come back to my breath.
Wow.
Just come back to my breath. And all of a sudden, when I would focus on my breath, I would step out of being so over-identified with my mind.
Honey, I cannot believe that 5 years when you moved out from Arizona, yeah?
Yeah, that it's been 5 years.
And you know what? To be honest, back then, I didn't have tools to go deeper to lower chakras, to transform that what we have repressed in lower chakras, honey. Because, as above, so below. So what I was doing 5 years ago and more than 10 years ago, yes, just bringing light and doing all healing with the light. What I noticed later in my life, that the light doesn't go to the density. We cannot remove those programmed false beliefs, in us, and repress the frozen emotions, which is deeply in us. And a light is too light to go there, to that density. Light beings doesn't go there either. So I'm so blessed now because I have absolutely priceless tools, which using them, we can transform all density, all heaviness in us.
So and when you're talking about the density, that's like those stored up traumas and stored up emotions and the stuff. When you're talking chakras, I'm assuming you mean that like energy system, the chakra system that we have in our body. I say it this way in case some of my listeners might not know. I know a lot of them are familiar with chakras, and then some people are like, what is a chakra? Right? And it's that energy system in the body.
Yes, honey, but now when I I share those tools, quantum tools for self-healing. I don't use anymore chakras.
Oh, then it's just the quantum tools.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that more. I know we're going to talk about awakening through pain.
Yes.
And I know that when I had met you, and a lot of my awakening has been through really having some physical pain at times. I know I had that when I was with you, having a painful relationship.
Oh,
and
emotional.
being
Yeah.
able, and I have to tell my listeners how much patience Prana had with me as a client as I went through that process with, the man that I was with at the time, who is, one of my greatest teachers.
Yes. Correct.
From that relationship and from all of that old stuff coming up so that I could actually heal it. And when you're talking about the density, are you talking more kind of like vibration and frequency, or are you referring to kind of like the subconscious storage there, or both? Tell me a little more about what you mean by that.
Okay, honey, we can talk for those who knows conscious mind, subconscious mind, yeah? Mm-hmm. So explain this way, yes, that whatever we do consciously, it's 5-10%, yeah? Otherwise, we do everything on autopilot, which means subconscious mind takes over everything. Yeah. Why? Because subconscious mind is 500,000 times faster than conscious mind. We want all to be happy, to be healthy, to be beautiful, but we have that. We attract in real life, we have that which we have inside of us. Because subconscious mind, honey, what is subconscious mind? It's in each cell of our body. The door to subconscious mind is in the heart. Until we open the heart, honey, we can clear, we can bring light to lower chakras, we can channel light. But really, to change our lives, we need to open heart, and we need to go to the lower chakras, or, to inner space where we repress, even freeze drama, emotions. Then in those chakras, we have what? Those false beliefs, thinking, yeah?
Oh, I love what you're saying, that we have all these stored kind of like false beliefs and stored beliefs that a lot of times we're not even aware that's what's running us. Are those old core beliefs. I know a couple of mine I've run into are things like, I'm not enough, it's not enough, you're not enough. Or I ran into one that was like, in the game of life, I always lose. And I didn't know that was the belief I was like attracting and living off of. So no matter how hard I tried to have like a happy life or to attract things, use the law of attraction, those type of things, I had these core like deep beliefs that were holding me back. And that's what it sounds like you're speaking to.
Now, yes. Now, how those and why those false beliefs or programs like viruses runs our life, how that happens, yeah? When by the way I see right now, that the basic beliefs, those the deepest one, are, I'm not loved, nobody loves me,
I am not lovable, I'm not loved, no one loves me,
I am not secure. Those which we pick up when we was little kids. And because whatever we feel, whatever we absorb from our parents, siblings, from we was born to 7 years old, it goes to unconscious mind.
Oh, that's right. Because 0 to 7, when you look at that developmentally in children, they're observing during that time. Yes. They do not have conscious thinking mind yet, the if then and those type of things. They're forming words and sentences, but they're really observing everything that's going on around them. And I know that we have a lot. I love what you're saying. Some of the beliefs around not feeling secure, having, I know when you met me, I also had a lot of those limited like financial beliefs and I mean, it was like poverty consciousness in my mind because that's what I grew up with, and it was like deeply ingrained. I think still shows up today. So I'll be calling you for more services because I do still have some of those like deeply ingrained, very deep. And then also if you've had any types of traumas and things, that like unsafe feeling. And I know with a lot of the things going on in the world today, those programs can come up, that not safe.
Yeah, we're always going around the world, triggering our beliefs, those programs, and our fears. So, honey, now the way I see right now, the people imagine that we are all, on this, living here on the earth. That imagine that there is like a tunnels, yeah? In one tunnel, for example, if you have those beliefs, oh, I'm not good enough, nobody loves me, I'm insecure, you are in this dark tunnel, and who you meet? You attract those people who are in the same tunnel.
Everybody who's in the tunnel. Yeah, that's like the world you're creating for yourself.
Until you have those beliefs, you're stuck in that tunnel, not being aware of, okay? Now, if you are open-minded, and you are lucky to get to someone who knows how to get you from that tunnel, you erase, then you can move to different tunnel. And for example, the last one is the biggest tunnel, and not even tunnel, honey. But there are few people only where they receive everything with ease and grace. They are receiving a gift. They don't need to work hard. They are connected. They are spreading love and light and peace to the universe. They are transforming darkness to light. They receive everything as a gift. And
it just flows.
Yes, everything flows. Go with the flow, correct, honey.
I love what we're saying. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, let's talk more about some of the tools that are available to transform. You don't have to go into detail, but just talking about some of the tools that you use. And eventually, I would love to talk also about your story because it was so profound for me. So we're going to take a quick break and come back. We're talking to Helena Prana about awakening through pain. See you soon. Welcome back, beautiful lights. You are listening to the Sharing Love and Light show with me, Kimberly Barrett. Before we get back to our interview with Helena Prana, I wanted to let you know how you can get in touch with us. You can reach me, Kimberly Barrett, through my website, sharingloveandlightshow.com. And you can reach my guest, Helena Prana, through her website, helenaprana.com. So we're going to come back in. I have the beautiful Prana with us tonight. She is such a gorgeous vessel of the light. And what I'm going to ask Prana to do, we were talking about awakening through pain, is to share your story and talk to us about pain. And then eventually we'll go into some of those tools that you've used. So I'm going to hand the mic over to you.
Thank you, beautiful. Thank you again. I told you before, I don't like to share my story because I'm not my story. I left my past, a long time ago, but because you want to hear, so maybe very shortly. So I was born in Lithuania, in very poor family with seven siblings was there. My dad was abusing badly mom, so a lot of drama. So I had so much trauma in my life. Like I had those 12 frozen buckets in me. What I mean by frozen buckets, I'm gonna explain later when I'm gonna talk about frozen emotions. But So my childhood, I was very poor, and somehow I had this inner determination, which comes from the soul spirit, correct? So I finished university, I was doing okay, but in the relationship, there are trauma after trauma. And finally, 20 years ago, I moved to United States with one green card. So when I moved here, this was 13 years ago. I was, as most of my time, so often in my life, I was in absolutely horrible pain. So physical pain, I mean. So I had migraines. I broke my back 25 years ago, which put me on this path. So I see now the deepest trauma actually was the biggest blessing, because they put me on this path of energy, to look for holistic health. So I had pain everywhere. That when I moved to this country, honey, what would happen? I would have pain, physical pain in my abdomen around the navel, but so strong that I would scream like crazy. Okay. Once I remember I was driving from my work, and I stopped by the hospital. I went to the hospital, opened the door, and I lost consciousness because I couldn't hold the pain. Yes. Mm-hmm. And now, 13 years ago, the same pain I had, the doctors never found anything. Yes. But I was so in pain. So they was giving me more and more, painkillers, and I left my body. That was my second blessing, which near-death experience. So I left the body. I was in the corner by the ceilings and watching my body, and my body was laying like this. And I flew to the body and I talked to the body. I said, Helena, you are so beautiful. You are so young. And I flew back and I saw my ex-boyfriend sitting and doctors and nurses. Then they did something. I get back to the body. And this is, honey, was my awakening through the pain, what I call, yes? So that happened to me spontaneously, because I guess, so what I realized from there, that I am not the body and mind, because my body and mind was laying and I was fine, yes? So we know that in our essence, we are lights. What is light? We are soul spirits, which is light, which is consciousness. It's energy.
And I so appreciate you sharing this with my listeners, because I remember being at Sound Healing with you, and you were helping me through all that I was going through. And you shared about having all that pain from your back and this emotional pain that nobody could fix. And I related a lot to that. And you talked about how you had this awakening, that you had spirit, that we are not our bodies, we are not our thoughts,
yes,
we are not our stories, we are so much more than this.
We are not our emotions, we are not our mind, correct, honey? We have this absolutely unique body and mind, which are temporary, yes, but permanently we are soul spirit, which came to this body. One day we're going to leave the body. So but when we identify with this temporary self, this is why we suffer. So honey, after this near-death experience, yes, so I had this big shift in my consciousness, yeah, that I am not my body and mind. I was that who was flying, but I still have a lot of pain inside of me, which I wasn't aware of that. Now, 13 years later, I can see clearly that for a few more years, I still have a pain. But somehow, honey, what I was able later to do, not to suffer anymore. I suffer back there because I didn't know anything better, yes? But when I separate me, my essence from my body and mind, yes, I started to identify, oh, I'm that which I was lying, yes? So I was able to watch the pain, to go to the pain, and to find the roots of the pain. So now, if we can, when you look to the mirror, you see your physical body. But so, honey, I guess not everyone is aware that if you would look to the mirror and see your emotional body and your mental body, you would be shocked. Why?
Yeah.
Because there are so many wounds and we don't know, most people, they don't know how to heal them. What we do, we repress, and sometimes, now I know, before I didn't, in those shocking situations, yeah, for example, when my first husband crashed with airplane, yeah, and we love and adore each other, and I was 24, he was 25. For me, that was shock. My daughter was 11 months old, yes? So I was walking, I remember myself, of course, crying like crazy and losing consciousness. But then for a few months, I was walking like a zombie, not feeling anything, but I didn't know what to do. Now, honey, what later I figured out that in those shocking situations, we are not able to feel all emotions. We freeze some emotions, and those emotions are, when time is ready, they shift and cause the pain. This is if someone has physical pain, yeah, chronic pain. The chronic pain, physical pain is effect. We need to look for the base cause. So usually the roots of that chronic pain or many illnesses, which medicine until now, doctors doesn't know what caused the pain or illness. The roots, 85% in those repressed or even frozen emotions. Because, honey, what happens, we need to, in order to heal, we need to what? We need to feel. But we cannot feel if we freeze those emotions and we repress them. And now we pretend, because we put the mask on, yes? Oh, how do you feel? Oh, I'm good, thank you. Nobody, honey, talks. What is, we, especially in this country, I see even more, the most people which repress and freeze emotions, and they hide them. So in order to heal, we need to feel. But to feel, we need to look inside. Not, we don't need to numb or to take pill or drink to forget or do go, just not to feel emotions. This is
You're
what most
sharing everything I've been saying to my listeners. I am loving you so much right now.
Don't put me there anymore.
Yeah, that we have all these like frozen pains and repressed pains and things like that. And then now they're all coming up. And now
Yes.
it's time that when the light shines on them, then we need to transmute them. And instead, in our country, what we do is we have addictions, we stuff it, we freeze it, we block it, we pretend like it's not there. We focus completely outside of ourselves on anything out of us to make us feel better. And it's not working. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. And when we get back, Helena is going to talk to us a little bit more about this pain and tell us more about the pain, the roots of it, and how we can transform it. I love you for this. It's so amazing. So
I'll be
right back. Welcome back, beautiful lights. You are listening to the Sharing Love and Light show with me, Kimberly Barrett. Before we get back to our interview with Helena Prana, I want to make sure you know how to contact us. I can be reached through my website, sharingloveandlightshow.com. I want to remind my listeners that on the Transformation Talk Radio host page for me, Kimberly Barrett at sharingloveandlightshow.com, you can also give us feedback and ask questions. If you would like to reach my guest, Helena Prana, she can be reached through her website, helenaprana.com. She's also starting an Awakening Through Pain on November 15th. So I wanted to let you know you can access that through her website, helenaprana.com. So I'm coming back to Helena, who's blowing me away again with her knowledge and understanding of how we have all this pain created in our worlds. Talk to us more about that, and then we'll start to move into how we can transform that. It is Transformation Talk Radio, so we're in the right place to talk about transforming.
Yes. So number one, we need to admit, acknowledge that we all have pain. I didn't meet anybody who doesn't have any pain repressed inside. We need to take responsibility. I am responsible for my health and for my happiness, period. Not doctors, not government, not nobody. I am responsible. And honey, until we take responsibility, nothing can be done, correct?
Yeah, so that's like recognizing your own power within and becoming empowered. Yeah,
Yes.
and I'm hearing that the first step is to really be aware, having that awareness that you do have pain.
Responsibility, yes? Then, we know that we have those, how we know that which repressed emotions we have? Because people say, oh, I don't have anger. No, I don't have hatred. Mostly what? Mind resists. Because mind what? Is a holder, correct? So, honey, when we understand that our mind is kind of like opposite to spirit or enemy, because do you know that mind cannot go within? This is why all people doing stuff, doing, because only soul spirit can go within and find that which is running their life.
Yeah, so like if you're caught up in your thinking all day long, you're not going to be able to do that. You have to be able to step away from the mind, be with your breath to be able to go within.
Correct.
That's what you taught me, because I was so much in here all the time. Yes. Whether I was busy or not, I could be sitting there and I was still in my mind thinking. And what you taught me was to come to the breath.
Yes, honey. And I think, so I forgot. I'm sorry, honey. I forgot about that. You know that I don't think, I feel.
You don't have think anymore. You're so like fully present in the moment. And what you taught me was how to come back to being fully present in the moment.
And sometimes I forget. Do you know what I mean? That Yes. So not blaming others, not judging others. So we need to, number 2 step, we need to stop blaming partners, our mom, dad, our government, or whoever people blame. Otherwise, who blames? The victims are blaming, yes, but they never takes responsibility. So when someone is in victim consciousness, it's okay. I was in victim consciousness for so many years, honey, and I didn't know that. Yes. But
and I love the word that you're using for that we can be in what a lot of us have been trained in, and that's that victim consciousness. Yes. And I love what you're saying is letting go of that guilt, shame, and blame, and particularly that blame.
So, honey, next one, we need to own the emotions, admit emotions and knowledge. Okay, not run away, not numb, but okay, recognize I am angry now. Honey, please stop or listen to me because I am angry. So when we acknowledge emotion, the anger, and we look to that, the anger starts what? In the present moment, when you don't start to melt away.
And as long as you don't act out on it too. So
Yes.
we need to acknowledge it and
Yes.
not act out on it. And I love what you're saying, because people have asked me about anxiety. And I'm like, one of the biggest problems with anxiety is anxiety avoids feeling the anxiety. The anxiety mind, you know, that emotion does not want you to turn and face it. Anxiety and fear.
The way I see anxiety, honey, so there are a lot of people depressed, yeah? A lot. Depression, when you hold some trauma from the past and you cannot let go. Something happened bad and your mind is stuck there. And you cannot move forward. You are depressed because what? The energy was there very low. The emotions are very heavy. The pain is so heavy that people cannot move forward. It's like anchors them, yeah? This is depression. Now, the way I see anxiety, people more who number one, they have a lot of different kind of fears. Fear of unknown, fear of people gonna leave me, yeah?
Fear of what people think of me, and yeah.
Yes, and so many fears they have, and they have more repressed emotions, honey. And that the way I see it, I can see deeper. So when we don't have thoughts, we are tuned to what? To super consciousness, yes? We can see deeply what is super consciousness, what is clairvoyance, is seeing clearly. So when we transform our emotions and we erase all those thinking and false programs running in us, we can see clearly. And the way I see it's that those people has a lot, like a volcano of different emotions, with a lot of different fears, yeah, stuck here, and they are holding them. They don't know what to do with those emotions, yes,
and not wanting to feel them.
No,
right?
It's scary.
Yeah, it's hard to feel, and that's what I get from people is, and I know for myself, I don't like feeling feelings. And one of the things you did with me, you might not remember this, I came to see you, and I actually, because you used the sound healing and you used at the time, I know you have deeper stuff you can do now, but at the time I just had a tennis racket and pillows, and I was able to just express all that stuff out of me that had been in me since I was 3 years old. I was holding on to a 3-year-old trauma that had happened to me that I had found out about, and I came to see you and you helped me release that. Now, later I had to do what you're talking about, is there were subconscious beliefs from that 3-year-old that I also had to release, which was this idea that I was always in trouble and everything was my fault. So whenever there was conflict in a relationship, I would immediately take all the blame, and it was all my fault, and not allow the other person, to be wherever they are. I don't have to own their stuff, but I can recognize that's not mine.
Yes, honey, you are not alone. There are millions of people who have the same, it's my fault. Yes.
Yeah. Because a 3-year-old would think it's all my fault.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
I didn't do anything wrong, and I got punished because that was the style of the parenting at the time. It wasn't my parents, it was someone else, and it was their style of parenting. And what I discovered was I needed to release that stuff out of me. It was causing a lot of physical pain for me and a lot of gut issues and things like that, that I needed to release out.
See, honey, when spirit talks through me, when I stop, I lose myself. Okay, so we was talking about, I'm gonna repeat, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a math teacher for 25 years in Lithuania, so I like to repeat to be sure that everybody.
Yeah, and we'll skip the next break and then wrap it up at the end. So I'll let you know as we continue to go, how much time we'll have to talk.
Yes. So one more time, we need to stop blaming, complaining, judging others, anyone, and yourself as well. We need to take responsibility. We need to stop when we feel any emotion. Now I'm going to talk about the emotions, yeah? Because what? Emotions affects our health, our relationship, of course, our money too, but programs more affects, those false beliefs more affects our money. But we need to feel, acknowledge, yes. Now, for example, I'm scared, yes. I am afraid of something. I'm saying that. I am owning that. And by looking to that emotions, that we transform. Do you know about quantum physics, correct? The energy goes
Well,
in.
tell my listeners about quantum physics, because they're not going to know about quantum healing or quantum physics. So give them a little brief lesson.
Oh, the tools I'm going to share later is different, but what I mean right now, that energy goes in waves, yes? But when we observe something, it collapses, the wave collapses and becomes the point, yeah? This is the same with emotion. When, the energy moving, it's energy. What is emotion? Energy in motions, yeah? And it runs and moves in us, and we don't know what to do. But when it's enough, just so simple, honey. Stop. What I'm feeling, come back to inner space, to here, yes? What I'm feeling right now, okay, I'm feeling anxiety, for example, yes? Okay, I'm gonna breathe to there where I feel pain, or I feel something, energy is moving, yes? So I acknowledge, okay, I'm feeling now pain or anger, whatever, yes? Now I breathe to that spot where I feel that emotions. And by looking there, by acknowledging and breathing there, we're transforming that emotions. Honey, it's so simple with emotions. But do you know what is the more difficult? More complicated is those patterns, to see how we repeat the same patterns.
Noticing the patterns. Got it. Yeah. Seeing where those patterns are in life so that we can then start to transform that.
So now, for example, yes, how becomes the patterns. For example, when my first husband died, crashed, I was 24, yeah. So honey, he left the house and he never come back. Yes. So after this all, I get back to normal. I thought I get back to normal, but I never actually to the same state of being as I was before. So what I want to share, this one trauma and how was playing out all my life and how I get rid of that. Okay. So after a while, I remarried. Of course, I was suffering totally, completely. Yeah, I was in pain. So there's when we are talking awakening through pain, there is pain, and most of people, they are in pain and they suffer. But we can use the pain for self-realization, for awakening. This is what happened to me. Now, when I wasn't aware that every man I met, all the time, deeply on unconscious level, I had that fear that man gonna leave me. He gonna go away and that's it. And this was playing all my life, honey. So how
same pattern?
And I always would say, oh my God, I'm so loving, I'm so kind. Why I attract those guys who comes and I'm like, even I say go away, or they go away. It always would happen because this is how this fear was playing out all my life until I recognize. And honey, from the moment I recognize, do you know what happened? the fear disappear. And my heart opened up as deep as never before. That, deeper chamber of heart, I guess, unconditional love, open up.
We
Because
have to face it and recognize it is what I'm hearing from you. Yeah.
And then we need to breathe. And I was breathing for what? Now I'm breathing in practice 45 minutes and I'm done. There are no more fear, honey. So, not sure what to say next. When we stop blaming and judging others and we look inside, we want to know ourselves. Yeah, this is my motto. Know yourself. Jesus said that. So many masters said, look within. But see, honey, if we can send one message to the world today, would be for me, that would be know yourself. Go within.
I love that you're saying that. They wrote that on the Temple of Adelphi, is know thyself.
Yes, yes, because this time in history is the most precious time when we're receiving so much light. So many people are awakening, like you, like me, like so many around, yes?
Yeah, we're in the new energy. The consciousness is awakening. We are shifting a whole collective into a new paradigm. Yes, it is honey, just such an amazing time to be here.
That those people who this volcano inside they have, so they call, whatever, anxiety or depression or any illness, yeah? I will call volcano, which always want to come out, that they are holding with pills, without all the drugs. No, I want. So I take something. So for a moment, I am happy. Yeah. But then when I'm alone, I'm miserable. Do you know, sweetie, that what I'm feeling the most blissful when I'm alone, because I'm the most connected.
Because you've released everything. And then I love what you said that, and I appreciate that you have shared your story with us, because our stories are powerful. And although you do not live in your past, for our listeners, if they hear you today, it's sort of like, oh yeah, you can live in the moment. That's nice. But how does that relate to me? And then to hear your story and have that hope that any of us can get to where you are now. And I consider that fifth dimensional consciousness, that you pretty much live fully present in the moment without your past, and you live in that freedom and that sovereignty. And then you're a vessel of light where you can help others. And you do that all the time. I know that about you.
I have my friend who for a year ago, he came with depressed, total dark energy. He transformed himself. I'm not transforming anymore. I'm sharing tools now, okay, for self-transformation. I am sharing tools, and those tools are, for example, one is quantum eraser, to erase all those false beliefs, programs, I call viruses, which runs our life, yeah? For example, oh, I'm a failure, or there are no money, there are never enough money or something. So so this first tool is to erase those subconscious beliefs which runs our life, and we don't know what to do with them. Yes. Now, tool number 2 is Harmonizer. Yeah. So
Harmonizer.
Yes.
Okay. Harmonizer. Got it.
Oh, thank you. So the second one, we can harmonize the energy between with anyone in relationship, that we can ask our soul spirit to bring, for example, all situations where you felt, for example, tell me, whatever, because see, when I erase, honey, I don't remember anything. Can you believe that? This is how present is. For example, when you were in pain, yes, or something, or you were betrayed. There you go. So we're asking soul spirit, please show me all situations or all people who betrayed me. So, for example, on breath in, I want to take all this energy back to my heart. Heart transforms to love and light, and I'm sending love and light to them. And this is the second tool, yeah? Then another tool is to release everything what we have here, yeah? Again, with the breath, honey, with the breath, we make intention, we set intention, we're asking God, Spirit, to help us. And with breathing 45 minutes, we can release that density, which is in us, that trauma. Can you believe that? 45.
Oh, I can. Yeah, this is so exciting to me. Now, whether my listeners can believe it or not, I think they need to check your website out and really like connect with you. Because this stuff is really amazing. There's testimonials on her website as well, by the way. So keep going. I'm loving it.
Next one, honey, it's about how our people, negative, you know, they're people unconscious. Yes, I would say
unconscious people. Yeah.
Heavy energy for me, and especially aggressive energy. Yes, which anger and hatred. Yes, anger, hatred is the most violent, aggressive energy, correct? So how they can affect us and our path. This is for you. For example, if you doing everything but money doesn't come, so we can, honey, transform, listen, that curses, spells, if you believe in that. If you don't believe, it's okay too. But, you know, I know there are some people who believe that. Jealousy or any magics, we transform to blessings. Can you believe that?
And I love what you're saying, because my friend David was talking about that people can project their thoughts onto you and it can affect your energy. And so being able to clear and that we are empowered enough. This is what I'm hearing from you, that with the tools that you use, you're empowered to clear everything off of you.
Yes,
absolutely nothing can touch you without your permission.
Do you understand that? That I don't do any more cleanings. I don't do clearings. I share the tools with people. So
they do it themselves. Yeah. Yeah.
Themselves, and I see transformation, honey, so quickly that sometimes you cannot believe. Can I share one example?
Yeah, use one example, and then we got to really wrap it up. We have about 3 minutes left, and I do need to share some things with the listeners before we head out.
So, big story. That was a year ago. One of my dear friends from Poland, yeah, he called me and he said, Helena, I cannot leave the house because Corona was, yeah. And he had a panic attack. No, he would go, you know, see the therapist for 6 months. Nobody was helping. I said, okay, if you trust me, and, you know, he used to be my business partner. Oh, he said, oh, absolutely, I trust you. So I said, okay, just give me an hour and let's do it. And, you know, we start to do this eraser, yeah? Because with this eraser, you can erase those programs and subconscious fears. So I said, okay, what you afraid of? And he's like, I'm afraid to leave the home. That's something, I cannot breathe. So he couldn't go to the store, he couldn't drive, okay? So after talking 15 minutes or so, he realized that, I said, maybe you're afraid to die. And he said, no. But then he realized that he is afraid to leave if he dies, he has young wife and little son. He erased that, honey. Next day he writes me, Helena, I am feeling 40 years younger. I have so much energy. First time in 6 months, I slept like a baby. Honey, do you know that it was enough in 1.5 hours to shift the panic attack? It's unbelievable, correct?
Yeah, and that it's transforming it completely. And that's why I'm so glad you're talking about this. It's like we have to face the pains. We have to be aware of them. Stop being in the blame game is what I'm hearing from you. Letting go of blame and judgment, just acknowledging these things. And then you are transforming it from its core. And you have those tools to be able to share with people. So we do need to wrap it up tonight. Helena, I am so blessed to have had you on the show. I could talk to you for another 5 hours, but I know that they have another show right after mine. You have been listening to the Sharing Love and Light show with me, Kimberly Barrett. I have had this beautiful, beautiful vessel of light and love, Helena Prana, on with me tonight. You can reach her at her website, helenaprana.com. And I just want to remind everyone who listens, we are here every first and third Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. This show is called Sharing Love and Light, Vibration, and Consciousness on the Planet. The next show I will be on talking about, and I think it's perfect timing from what Helena was just talking to us about tonight, moving from that really dense third dimensional consciousness into fifth dimensional consciousness. Feel free to send questions and feedback on my host page at transformationtalkradio.com. I'm going to remind everyone that Helena Prana is going to be starting an Awakening Through Pain on November 15th. So please check her website out, helenaprana.com. And my reminder is, remember, love is not a verb. It is a state of being. It is an energy we can tap into and a level of consciousness we can move into and live. Thank you, Helena. So many blessings. I love you so much. Thank you for sharing with us tonight. Thanks for tuning in to the Sharing Love and Light Show, Vibration and Consciousness on the Planet, with me, Kimberly Barrett. Remember, love is not a verb. It is a state of mind. You've spent the last hour experiencing love and light and tapping into the quantum energy that already exists in you. But the journey doesn't stop here. Tune in every first and third Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio, as we continue exploring the energetic shifts happening in and around us. With love and light, see you next time.